Sherry came into my house and helped me to organize 3 rooms from top to bottom, literally not missing a square foot of my kitchen, which has been such a game changer. Being organized, how does that change someone's lifestyle in terms of their health?
When you have a lot of clutter and you have a lot of chaos in your life, that sometimes maybe you're not making the right food choices. That I'm not saying that's for everyone, but as sort of like a general observation, because I've been doing this for 21 years. And so for me, when I started working with you, I was a fairly good healthy eater, but yes, I'm cheating and I'll be pizza night, and I needed to take it to the next level. And so with organization, I'm always looking at what is the next level that the person needs to go to, whatever stage they're at. It doesn't matter. I'm there to help. I'm not there to judge in any way. You're a busy mom, and I want to make meal prep so you can spend more time with your daughter and just more downtime. And I know the difference that when you have organization in your kitchen, which is the heart of the home.
Yes.
It's the busiest room in the house.
The kitchen is the best place to start because it's going to make such a difference to your entire day.
It is. And then you have more energy to do the things that you need to do. And your kids come home and you've put in a full day of work. And now they're home from school. Well, your day's not ending. Right? There's homework and there's sports and music and everything that you got to go to. And somewhere in that busy day, you got to do lunches for tomorrow and get their backpack ready for school, and then you have to be prepared. So that's why I love doing kitchens, because I know the ripple effect that it has in a busy mom's life. For me, it's been transformative because I'm on the go all day.
I love the fact that you talk about that ripple effect. So let's talk about the kitchen, because there were basically 3 parts to the kitchen that you transformed for me. So the first part is the big part, and that's the pantry. There's 3 main things that you did to my pantry that changed my life. The first one is turntables.
Yes, game changer. I put those in fridges as well.
Yes. So I got 3 turntables in my pantry. So if you have the room, then I really suggest you do this. And by the way, we'll put Sherry's links below so people can get these. I put all of my superfoods on the turntables, and Sherry suggested that I take my superfoods out of bags. So I'm talking about turmeric, blue spirulina, maca. We took them out of bags and we put them into mason jars with the ball lid. And this way you can see exactly what is needed in the pantry. If I'm running low on turmeric, I know right away.
Well, yeah, because you can visually see it. And these can go in the dishwasher and they don't leak. So we use these for smoothies too.
Yes, exactly. So I love the mason jar effect on the turntables for superfoods. The second turntable is all of the oils. So I used to have my oils in a bucket, but truly was so hard to see what I had, and they were such a mess. Now they're on a turntable. I can spin the turntable, see exactly what's there for all of my oils when I'm cooking. This has really changed the way I meal prep.
Really?
Yes. Before, I wasn't as motivated to meal prep. It felt like a chore because I had to get the bucket of the oils out. I didn't know what I had heavy, and then things would spill. And honestly, like, it was a chore. And now it's seamless. It really feels effortless when I meal prep.
That's so great.
Yes, it's changed my life. And meal prepping is something that we do for our community.
Well, I know.
All the time. And so if there's anyone that's got to feel motivated and excited about meal prep, it is me.
Well, you got to inspire us to meal prep, right?
Yeah, so this has just been amazing. And the third turntable, I have sauces. So I've got my soy sauces on there and other sauces. I've got maple syrup, honey, and also my salt and pepper on there as well. And it's just so much easier when you turn. So if you do have the space for a turntable, I really think that those 3 things are a great thing to do. The second piece in the pantry is the tiered.
Oh, for the canned goods.
Yeah. So what do you call that? Tier shelves?
Yeah, tier shelf.
Tier shelves. Yeah. So basically the canned goods, it's hard to see.
They're over there.
They're
right that way.
It's like going to a store. And you said this to me. You said, make your pantry into the experience of going to the grocery store, right? Because now with my cans, I can see what I have.
I know, you couldn't before.
You couldn't before. No. They were all on one level, and I had a million of them because every time I went to the grocery store, I didn't know what I had. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now I have them on the tiers, and you can see, okay, I've got the beans, I got the chickpeas, and it looks like going to the grocery store and you know exactly what is there. And I love that.
It.
The third piece that you helped me with was the bin.
Yes. And you had some and we used what you had. We used the white bins from IKEA, but I added these black labels and we labeled everything.
It's huge.
And we moved them lower because they were so heavy. When I'm looking at organization, I'm also looking at the functionality of it. So heavy bins on the top shelf and heavier on the lower. So your daughter could get her snacks and do the baking.
And this was Sherry's idea. And I just thought it was absolutely genius. She says, oh, well, Shelby's got a lot of snacks. And they were kind of just all over the place. And she eats things like Lara bars and rice cakes and Cheerios, things that I don't eat, but they're great for kids. I think these foods are fine in moderation for kids. And Sherry said, well, let's create a bin for Shelby. And so we actually created two. We put her name on it. It says Shelby Snack. And she loved it. When she got home that day and she saw her name, she's like, oh, these are for me. And so now she helps make her own food. She makes her own lunches.
Which
That's
saves you
a game
time.
changer in itself.
Yeah. It's these little things. It's like time management. You know, you're trying to like get all this stuff done on your to-do list, but it's the little inefficiencies, those daily frictions and frustrations that I'm trying to minimize. Going to give you back these small increments of time. Now you don't have to think about, you know,
my gosh. And you're also empowering a child to start thinking about how to prep their own food. My parents didn't give me that gift. I can't blame them because they were just doing the best that they knew how. But I didn't know how to cook until I was 33 years old. I literally knew how to make a salad because you couldn't burn it and to boil an egg. I'm not joking. So the point is with your kids, let's empower them, and having those snack bins is good because it's going to empower them. It's going to get them involved in the kitchen. This is good. You talk about the ripple effect. This is the ripple effect. But also for you busy mamas who are trying to eat healthier and kids snacks are getting in the way. I can't tell you, if I had $1 for every time I heard someone say, but my kids snacks were there and it was 5 p.m. and I was so hungry after a long day and all I wanted was the kids chocolate chips or the kids bars, or the kids fish crackers. And there's a long list of things that kids have. And we like
gummy bears.
Yeah, we got to get rid of the fish crackers. Can we just talk about getting rid of the fish crackers?
I like those.
Oh no.
But I don't have them.
Anyways, having those foods in one bin that's a little bit out of sight. So in my case, it is tucked in the corner and I can't see those foods because if I do have a craving come on and the chocolate chips are staring me in the face, I promise you I will eat the entire bag of baking chocolate chips. I will every time.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. This is real. And so even better is maybe tucking it away in a drawer. Your kids
or
have a
the
drawer.
top cupboard.
Yeah, or a cupboard away. So the kids can go there, but you are not going there. You don't need to go there. You're having foods that are serving you.
And we have a friend today.
Yeah, Romeo has just popped in our episode. Hello.
And back to the organizing pantry. I love how you said that it's a ripple effect because organization is so much more than just buying pretty bins and pretty labels and all that. At the end of the day, I just want to simplify your life.
Yeah.
I just want to make life easy. And I also want to make it easy for all the household members as well.
You have. And that is something that I can't thank you enough. You kept it super simple. And you always say to your clients, don't go out and buy all the bins. First.
The last
and that's the first thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to be like, okay, I want to get the pretty bins, the labels and all that fun stuff. You're like, no, we have to have a strategy. And so you actually have a system and a strategy behind what you do. And I love that. And one of the things that you told me to do is take either the top down or the bottom up, one shelf at a time.
Exactly.
Whereas the old me would have done the entire thing. It would have been so overwhelming and I would have thrown the towel in about 10 minutes later.
Most people do. They quit because you have a messy area and then you haul it out. Well, now your mess is 10 times worse and you can get discouraged. And it's also very overwhelming. That's why I always go top to bottom, left to right. And if you can't get to the top, you can start at the bottom or just start with the floor, but one section at a time. We have these little pockets of time.
Yes.
And so if you can only spend 30 minutes, just spend 30 minutes doing one shelf at a time and then come back to it a couple of days later.
It's exactly how, if you don't have 1 hour to meal prep, do 10 minutes, get something done. That's 10 minutes. You can prep all your snacks or your breakfast in 10 minutes, done.
I'll cook quinoa.
But and
I'll cook a big pot of quinoa, freeze it, and then I don't have to do that for a month. So that's called like batching. Right?
Yes. I love the freezer tip. So I got 2 more areas about the kitchen that I I want to talk about that were so awesome. You see, Romeo is here because you're talking about food, and he's like Pavlov's dog. He hears food and he's like, where's the food?
I love it.
So the other thing that you did was my spice drawer.
Yes. I know when I saw that, I'm like, can I do your spice drawer?
And you went to town
I
on
did.
my spice drawer, and it was absolutely incredible. So before I had spices in a tub, I think.
They were in the pantry. We turned a drawer that she had in lots of tea, right?
Lots of tea. Yep. So now it's a spice drawer and tea drawer
It is.
together. Yeah. It's a massive drawer, actually.
Yeah, it's a nice big drawer. We're looking at it over there. The one thing is when you have uniform spice jars, it's easier to read.
Yeah, so every jar is the same size. And before I buy just miscellaneous spices, and some are in packages, some are in jars, some are plastic jars, some are glass jars. The ones that you got me are all the same size, and they're glass, and they all have the same lid.
And they're square.
And they're square so they don't roll.
Yes.
That's actually so important.
I know.
Yes.
So if you were putting them on a shelf, it's okay to do round, or you can do a spice rack with the jars already in it and relabel them. But because they're in a drawer, now there are some solutions to make those stay in place, but we actually didn't have any other. We just wanted to put them in the drawer, and the square lays flat. We also put a drawer divider in there. So it's an extension thing, and it separated the tea and it held all the spices together. It's a super simple, easy little fix.
And also what I love about the spices is that they all have labels on them. The labels are the same size as well, and they're alphabetic. When I go to look for turmeric, I know it's at the bottom in the tea section. And again, with my meal prep before, I had this bin and I didn't know where anything was.
I had to get into the spices.
And that is one thing I'd love you guys to use when you're meal prepping and cooking is lots of spices, because there's so many health benefits, also going to give your food a ton of flavor. And so having it done this way, where you can actually see your spices, I can also see when I'm low in something. And now I have a separate bin that Sherry helped me put together. It's called extra spices at the very top, because I barely use it. But then we put all of the packages of extra spices in there.
You can just refill.
And then I refill. So that's been a game changer. The third and final piece that I want to talk about, this is the big one, is the fridge. So there are two things that you did in my fridge that I got to talk about. The first one is a turntable. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
First of all, don't put wood turntables. I use the plastic ones. I do use a specific product. It's called iDesign. I test everything before I ever recommend it as well. When I say test, I mean it could be anywhere from 6 to 12 months. And just don't put these products in the dishwasher, but you can put them in the fridge and the freezer, and the ball bearing system in them. It'll still work like 10 years later. Amazing. That's been my experience. So that's the only brand that I recommend. You can try others, but what happens is in a fridge, I see lots of condiments and I see lots of small jars, and they're buried and they're expired.
Yes.
You can't access them.
Oh,
and so what happens when you put them on a turntable, because there's always a small narrow shelf and everybody shoves everything in there. And people look at me kind of weird when I put it in. They're like, can I have another one? Like, seriously, I'm always putting a second turntable.
Oh, really? I never thought of a second one. So on the turntable that I have now in my fridge, because of Sherry, I put my nut butters on there. I have superfoods like spirulina and bee pollen that need to be refrigerated. So they're in there as well. Some salsas, the condiments. And again, what I love is that you can turn it and you can see it. Yeah, Shelby likes it too. And so it's been awesome for that. That cleared up a lot of space.
And it does. It's amazing.
The second piece that I want to talk about the fridge that you did was a bin for the, I want to say healthy fat. So nice clear plastic bin. Then we put the label healthy fat, and I've got the flaxseed, the hemp hearts, the chia seeds.
Yes.
And then I also have the pumpkin seed protein because it's a bag. And so I have them stacked in a row in there. And so anytime I'm making breakfast or smoothie, because that's typically when I'll use those, I will grab that bin, bring it out. So it's just made my meal prep so much easier, because I'm going now to one spot to get all of the healthy
all
fats.
over the
versus all over the place. I have no idea where the flaxseed is, and I'm about to make it, and I'm looking, and that to me is so frustrating, whereas this has taken all of that out.
So that's what I call organizing zones. So just how we zoned her pantry, and we have the baking zone, snack zones, for food zone. So we create zones in the kitchen. You got your spice and your tea zone. we zone the fridge as well.
It's so smart.
And we zone freezers. And especially for meal prep,
Yes.
because I do this on a lot of projects now. Again, it's a game changer for meal prep.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my gosh, Sherry, you have absolutely changed my life. I'm so grateful. People can find you at simplyproductive.ca, right?
.com.
.com. Okay, you've got live event coming up. I've done 2 of these already and they are incredible. Sherry has a very systemized way to do this. Trust me, you don't want to do it on your own. This is really something that it's so important to have the experts show you. And she actually gives you a ton of one-on-one attention and advice through this live event. I hope you have found this really helpful. I know it truly has been a game changer for me just in my meal prep and keeping healthy eating top of mind, which is of course such a huge priority for me.